Today's lesson we're going to talk about special angle pairs that are created by parallel lines. First term we need to discuss is called a transversal. A transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines. Alright, in this example here, line P would be the transversal because it intersects, in this case, line N and M. Alright? Now, when you have a transversal intersecting lines, it creates a bunch of different angles. We already know, like for instance, angle 1 and 2 are supplementary, okay? And angles like 2 and 4, for instance, are vertical. Those are previous terms. So some new angle pairs. First one would be alternate interior angles. Now, alternate meaning opposite sides of the transversal, and interior meaning inside the two lines, okay? So in this case, angle 4 and angle 6 would be alternate interior angles. Same thing with angle 3 and angle 5. Now, if we highlight, for instance, if we highlight angle 4 and angle 6, it makes the letter Z. All right, so we're going to relate the letter Z to alternate interior angles. Now, if the two lines are parallel, in this case they are, then that means that alternate interior angles would be congruent. So if angle 4 was 100 degrees, that means angle 6 would also be 100 degrees. Next we have corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are angles that are in the same spot. Okay, so we have a group of 4 angles right here, and we also have a group of 4 angles down here. So angle 1 and angle 5 would be corresponding. All right, same thing with angle 4 and angle 8. And angle 2 and angle 6 would be corresponding. And same thing with angle 3 and angle 7. Those are all corresponding angles. Now, if we highlight, for instance, angle 3 and angle 7, you can see they make the letter F. So we're going to associate the letter F with corresponding angles. And if those lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are going to be congruent. So let's say angle 3 was 50, that means angle 7 would be 50 as well. Finally, we have same side interior angles. Okay, same side interior angles means same side of the transversal, and interior meaning inside the two lines. So we're looking at these 4 angles right here. Okay, so same side interior angles would be like angles 4 and 5, or angles 3 and 6. All right, now if we highlight like angle 3 and angle 6, you can see it makes the letter C. So we're going to relate the letter C to same side interior angles. If the lines are parallel, then same side interior angles are going to be supplementary, which means they add up to 180 degrees. So if angle 3 was 50, that means angle 6 would be 130 degrees because they would total 180. So let's do some examples. First 3 examples we have here, we're going to classify each pair of angles. Okay? So angle 1 and angle 2, if I were to highlight those angles and trace them, you can see that they make the letter C. And from above, the letter C was same side interior. So these are same side interior angles. Okay, if we go to number 2, angle 1 and angle 2, they make a letter F. It's upside down, but it's still the letter F. And then to review, corresponding angles make those letter Fs. So angles 1 and 2 would be corresponding. Finally, we have example 3 here. If I highlight angle 1 and angle 2, you can see they make the letter Z. Those were alternate interior angles make the letter Z. So those are alternate interior angles. Okay, now we're going to use that information to figure out the measures of angles using those terms. So in this example here, example 4, we have two parallel lines, and I can tell that by these markings right here. That says that these two lines are parallel. So this line right here would be our transversal. So we're given this 100-degree angle, and we're trying to find angle 1 and 2. All right, now let's see. Angle 1 makes a Z with that 100-degree angle. Okay, so angle 1 would also be 100 degrees because they make the letter Z, and those are called alternate interior angles. And those are congruent, okay, if we have parallel lines, which we do. Angle 2 is vertical with that 100-degree angle. So from previous knowledge, we know that vertical angles are congruent. All right, example 5. Okay, again, same concept. We have two parallel lines. This time they're going vertically. And we have angle, this angle here is 75 degrees. Let me highlight that. And let me highlight angle 1. And you can see those make the letter Z again. All right, so I know angle 1 is also 75 because it's alternate interior with that 75 that was given. Now to get angle 2, we can look at it two ways. It's vertical with that angle 1, so I know it's 75. Or we can look and if it makes a letter F with that given 75. So those are corresponding, which are also congruent. Okay. Example 6, same concepts. We're given this angle, and we're going to try to find angle 1. So I highlight it, and I can see it makes the letter F. So I know those are going to be the same. So angle 1 is also 135. And then from previous knowledge, angle 1 here and angle 2 are vertical. So those are going to be congruent as well. Lastly, example 7. Now we're going to apply everything to set up an equation and solve for our variable. Okay. In this example, we have two parallel lines on the top and the bottom of this shape because of our markings. So this is the transversal we're looking at. Now if I were to highlight angle X and angle labeled X minus 26, those make the letter C, which are called same side interior angles. Okay? And I know they are supplementary. So to set up my equation, I'm going to take the one angle X, add it to the other angle, X minus 26, and that's going to be equal to 180. Now I'm going to solve for X. So I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to add 26 to both sides. So 2x equals, that would be 206. And then we divide by 2. So x equals 103. So that's what x equals. If I wanted to, I can plug that back in. X would be 103 here. And that means this angle would have to add up to 180 with 103, which would be 77 degrees. All right, so to conclude, angles that make a Z are alternate interior angles. They are congruent when we have parallel lines. All right, angles that make an F are corresponding. and they are congruent when we have parallel lines. And then we have the angles that make the letter C. Those are called same side interior angles, and they add up to 180 if you have parallel lines.